Welcome to a brand new video of Centrics EduSpace. And today we have one of the most esteemed lecturer who is known as Shakespeare, Kamikaze, Grandmaster finally. Let's welcome our Grandmaster with a grand warm welcome, Mr. Javed Ossen.
Thank you so much, bro. Thanks a lot for having me. So what is this podcast called? Is it called Centrics Fusion?
Centrics EduSpace Fusion, sir.
That's a brilliant name, by the way. Again, very honored to be here. And I also remember you were one of my students, right, Muheed?
Yes, sir, back in 22.
It is such an honor to be interviewed by one of my students. You do not know how much prestigious this feels. So go ahead, please continue, Muheed.
Before I go in deep, may I know who is Javed Ossen?
That's a very good question. So I usually categorize myself as a big dreamer coming from a small place. Now, it's a Sohamana Kada. You will understand it, Muheed, but I come from a very small family. I come from a very sad past. I don't want to make my students cry, so if there are heart patients, if there are easily emotional people, please stop watching. But lost my parents when I was very young. And my sister went abroad. And from that point onwards, it was a one-man struggle. So that's why I easily categorize myself as a big dreamer coming from a small place. Muheed, sometimes, money might not be on the table. People might leave you, not because they're bad, but because they have no choice. But your dreams are what keeps you alive, right, Muheed?
Definitely, sir.
So the second question, so let me stop making this emotional. But the second answer to your question is, I call myself the Grandmaster because I carry two subjects, two of the most difficult subjects for O-levels and A-levels. They are literature, English lit obviously, and then we have mathematics. So naturally my students started calling me the Grandmaster. And that is who Javed Ossen is, Muheed. Thank you so much for asking that valuable question.
You're welcome, sir. And by the way, what is the reason to choose Centrics EduSpace?
I believe in Candy, which is a brilliant market for young minds. So that is what I believe. As a teacher, we cultivate young minds. And Centrics is the best place when it comes to education in Candy, especially when it comes to English medium. I'm talking about the amenities, I'm talking about the qualified lecture panel, I'm talking about the accessibility down to the parking, not sponsored by Centrics, but down to the parking. Centrics is an amazing place, but the main reason is the people. The people, the lecturers in Centrics, they're not there only to give you education, they're there to shape you as a human being. They're there to show you the future, show you your potential. So it was very natural for a dreamer like me to work in a place where dreams come true. So I hope you got the answer for that, Muheed.
Yes,
please go
sir.
ahead.
So Centrics, as our Grandmaster, Mr. Javed Ossen said, Centrics is one of the best places to shape your future and to go for a good education. So before I move to the next question, I have a small doubt, sir, to ask.
Yes, please go ahead.
Humor, society, and also emotions. So what does this connect, sir?
That's a very good question. I think the reason why Muheed asked me this is because these are fundamental ideas where we connect literature into real life. So to be honest, I teach literature in Centrics for O-levels and A-levels. And a lot of students, they look at literature like a burden of a subject, a boring subject. But to be honest, when it comes to literature, Muheed, you can connect those ideas into your real life. It is a very practical subject. I tell my students this all the time, but you don't have to learn the logic necessary to survive literature. You are born with that logic. So that is where humor, society, conflict, life applies into this conversation, because to understand literature, you don't have to be able to speak English in a British accent. You have to understand the fundamentals of being a human. And that is why humor, conflict, society, life, and even nature are important within the context of our conversation. Please continue, Muheed.
So everyone have a specific book in their life which may change their life, which may motivate them to achieve something. In your life, what is the book, sir?
That's a very good question. I'm going to say the Holy Quran is the book that changed my life. No, in all seriousness, in all seriousness, as a literature teacher, I teach many novels, and I work with a lot of content written by other people. Now, here is where literature connects to law. A lot of people think, Muheed, that literature is an artistic subject. You go to write the poems, you go to write the stories, you have to understand how the mechanisms of story writing work. But in actuality, what you're doing is you're studying other people's stories. And I'll tell you why I'll answer your question very quickly, but the reason I chose lit as a teacher was because I realized that when I learned the stories of these interesting people, because when a writer writes a novel, they project their life story onto the novel. And you know that the novels in literature, O-level or A-level, are not fairy tales. They remind you that life is far from a fairy tale. There's no princess, there's no Prince Charming waiting for you in the end. It is all a balance between happiness and sadness. So it's a very difficult question that you have asked me, because I equally admire all of the novels that I have taught, because all of them have helped me shape myself as the person I am today. So the answer for your question is, there is no single novel or single story book that changed my perspective. All of them have equally affected me as a person. Please continue, Muheed. You're asking brilliant questions, by the way.
Yes, as the Holy Quran changed Javed sir's life, for y'all, your ordinary level and advanced level, life will be changed by our grandmasters, expertised English literature tutors at Centrics Eduospace Kandy. And also, if we say about Javed sir, he is one of the renowned lecturer, not only in Colombo, also in Kandy. So his upcoming plans for the 2026. So can we know about your plans for 2026?
Absolutely. So the first thing is we're trying to make the subject fun. We're trying to make the subject more reachable, because a lot of people think that this has to be a boring and cumbersome, troublesome subject. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I have a small qualification in psychology, so social psychology and early childhood development. So you might not believe this, Muheed, but do you know that when there are pictures in your learning material, you learn 10 times faster? It's unbelievable, but this has been a experiment done by professionals. They have taken toddlers, all right? You have a toddler, Muheed, at home?
No.
All right, you will in the future, hopefully. But if you take toddlers, okay, and you teach them using a dictionary, and you teach them using a picture book, the toddler who learned using the dictionary will take 10 times longer to learn the exact same thing that a toddler learned using a picture book. So the first thing is I want to make the material colorful. I want to make the teaching material a lot more straightforward and a lot more pleasing to the eye. So my materials are not black and white. My students might know this. They're colored, and that is the first step. The second step is making English a ordinary thing, right, Muheed? Don't you feel that a lot of people are afraid of English? Even now, I've been teaching for a long time. It's been nearly a decade. It's a long story, by the way, Muheed. But I've seen a lot of people are afraid of English. They look at it like a duty, a burden. But it's just a means of communication. And I'm trying to make English a normal thing, an everyday thing. So that's the second step. And the final step is understanding the student. I've noticed that you've been calling me sir a lot in this podcast, but you don't have to call me sir, man. think of me as an elder brother, because we've got to break that student-teacher barrier. You have to understand that teachers are not dictators. Teachers are ordinary people who are here to help the student. And when the student succeeds, who is proud, Muheed? Who feels pride?
Lecturers.
Absolutely, the teacher, right? So right now, Muheed, you're making me very proud. By being someone competent enough to carry a podcast that not many people can, and then for being someone who asks the right questions at the right time. So please continue, Muheed.
Thank you, sir. And I don't call him sir anymore. So
Of
thank
course,
you,
call
brother.
call me bro, dude. Yes, we are
Thank
like,
you, bro. Thank you, bro.
of course, bro.
So-
Machan, call me Machan, right?
Machan.
Muheed has a sister.
No, sir.
Right?
Currently,
He's
no.
got an elder sister.
So my final question from my bro, not from my lecturer. So what you want to say for the students who want to join your class and who missed your class?
That again is an amazing way to end this. All right. That is an amazing way to end this podcast. So I hope it's okay if I answer your final question with another question, Muheed. Dude, this is a pen, obviously.
Yes.
And this question is actually a thought experiment. This has been asked a lot in job interviews. And nowadays, it's kind of like a cliche. It's used a lot. But I really want to ask you this, Muheed. Can you sell me this pen?
Definitely yes, sir.
Please go ahead. I want to see.
Sir, starting off with, do you need a pen?
That's a good question. I do, Muheed, yes.
So you are an English lecturer, so English literature lecturer. So you mark papers, you do corrections. Do you need a pen?
Absolutely. Of course, I do need a pen.
So you have a need of pen.
Absolutely.
So I offer you this pen, sir.
That's a very good answer, Muheed. And the reason why Muheed was able to answer this is because he is a student who learned literature. So he's someone who knows the mechanisms of this language. But I'm going to burst your bubble, bro. That was not the right answer.
Oh my God.
So you sold me this pen for nothing. You didn't know the price of the pen. You did not know whether this is a B2B, which is business to business, or B2C, business to customer product. You didn't ask me about the inventory. You know what inventory is, right?
Yes.
How many pens do we have in stock? You didn't ask me about the production cost. How much does it cost per pen? You didn't ask me about the discounts, the promotions, the propaganda. You did not ask me about a marketing strategy. So you've tried to sell a pen blindly. So why did I ask Muheed this question? Because a lot of students, they get into their future, which is your education, right? Your future is your education. They get into their future blindly. It's like trying to sell a pen without knowing the cost, without knowing the discount, without knowing the inventory, without knowing the propaganda, the marketing. It's trying to sell a pen blindly. So my advice to my students is understand what you are getting yourself into. And how do you understand what you are getting yourself into, Muheed? By asking the right questions. That's why I have been admiring you a lot today, not because of your black, smooth skin. I've been admiring you because you ask the right questions. If you're a student, you might not be my student. I want you to ask the right questions. And that's it, Muheed. Thank you so much for being a part of this experience of mine. I will never forget today. I hope you won't also. Please,
Thank
wrap
you,
it up.
bro. And as a conclusion, so meet our Grandmaster, Mr. Javed Ossen, at Centrics Edu Space. So let's meet you at Centrics, sir.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Thanks, bro.